We're following a major development in the ongoing tension between the federal government and Silicon Valley. Twitter now is cutting off the U.S. government's access to Data to a degree, at least. It's a service that combs through social media postings and then sends out alerts regarding things such as terror attacks and other breaking news situations. A top official at Twitter said the company doesn't want to appear to be working too closely with federal intelligence agencies. CBS News contributor Nick Thompson is here to help flesh this out and, well, apply some perspective here where I'm still struggling to see the here. So first, Twitter, by the way, which owns a 5% stake of Data has now cut off access, at least for certain U.S. intelligence agencies, to get this information in real time. What's the greater impact here?
Well, so Data is a company that mines all of Twitter's data and then sends out alerts to companies or government officials, government agencies that pay it a whole lot of money. So Twitter, even though it only has a 5% stake in Data has a lot of control and a lot of power over Data and they work very closely. So what Twitter has said is that, you know, we don't like the sense that intelligence agencies are pouring through your tweets. We think it might make our users uncomfortable. At least that's what they seem to be portraying. And so somebody at Twitter must have been worried about public perception or a story or a future story, or has been caught up in some kind of larger negotiation that we don't know about and has decided to cut off the CIA and other government agencies from it. But on its face, this story is very confusing.
Because when optics are the driving factor, the cynics among us can the red flags go up, I think it's fair to say. This is not, for instance, something it's being compared to. This is not the tension, the fight between Apple and the FBI to break into a device, to invade a user's privacy. That it is simply, it's an algorithmic service that aggregates things that have already happened. I mean, that's an important distinction here.
Right, so it's taking tweets that already exist. It's developed some software. It looks through all of these tweets, and by looking at all the tweets, it can say, hey, look, there's been an attack in Paris. Hey, look, there's been an attack in Belgium, and get that information out before other services can. So it's not specifically going into something that you thought was private. It's not reading emails that you didn't think were out in the open. These are tweets that we make public. So it's not really a privacy invasion. Though, I assume if I were to put on my Twitter hat, I can say, you know, it's kind of weird to think that the government agency has all this power to sort through all our data in a way that maybe others don't.
But there is still a government agency, the Department of Homeland Security, that has a contract with Data that thus far has not been impacted. So there is the can I borrow your Netflix password appeal of that. I mean, there are the government still, in a real way, is pouring over tweets in real time.
Right. So if I were to list all the reasons why this seems like a weird move from Twitter, they would be: one, it doesn't make financial success. Financial success. Why cut off access to one of your largest clients, particularly when you're doing badly? Right. Twitter is not having a good time economically. Two, is it even moral? Don't we want the CIA to know when there's been a terrorist attack happening? Particularly if you're Twitter. You're a San Francisco-based company that probably the terrorists would love to destroy, you know, one by one by one. So do you really want to do this from even a moral perspective? And third, are they even acting fully on principle if they're giving DHS access to the same information that they're cutting off from the CIA? So a lot doesn't make sense, which suggests that maybe something else is going on.
Okay, so might I suggest, you mentioned the financial challenges that the company has faced of late. Is it beyond the realm of possibility that Twitter is looking to force its way into a bigger conversation that puts it perhaps on the right side of history?
That would be amazing if they've done that. And it's not out of the question, right? Twitter is getting a lot of attention. We are talking about Twitter. They do seem like somebody standing up to the government that does have a certain appeal in Silicon Valley, particularly when you're recruiting job candidates, right? When you're recruiting young engineers, they're very anti-government post-Snowden. This is probably a good recruiting ploy. I'm not sure that's what they did because this story seems like it was leaked by the government. It doesn't seem like it was leaked by Twitter. The sources talking in the story are government sources. It seems like something Twitter did in the background. So Twitter would have to be playing a pretty masterful game. Let's cut this off. Let's hope the government leaks it to the Wall Street Journal. When it does, we'll look bad to the public, but we'll look good to engineers. It's a little complicated. But maybe you're right. It's better than any other explanation I've heard this morning for what's going on with Twitter right now.
You're one of the smartest people I know, Nick. And okay, I think it's fair to say we'll be discussing this again.
We will be discussing this again.
Because I feel like there's a paragraph or two of this story missing.
3 or 4 maybe.
That's 4, 5, or 6. Nick Thompson
Thank you,
from
Josh.
the NewYorker.com, by the way. Thank you.